Welcome to Staples.
Staples Guy, I've resolved to save my office money in 2017.
Well, during Staples' January printing event, you save big when you buy one HP ink and get the second 40% off.
Oh, that kind of savings will impress the boss. Maybe this year he'll stop calling me New Guy Nick.
Well, there are worse nicknames.
I've worked there 6 years, and my name's Doug.
Resolve to save during Staples' January printing event. Buy one HP ink and get the second 40% off. Staples, make more happen.
Ends 1/14/17. See store staples.com for details. Restrictions may apply.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event. Are you ready? Oh, yeah! Woo!
And now, coming live from blogtalkradio.com and presented by Wrestling-News.net, it's Main Event Madness. Madness Unleashed. You can chat with us during the show using the hashtag MEM Live on Twitter or Facebook.com/Main Event Madness. And now, here are your hosts for tonight's show, John Curry, Mark Madison, and Mike Holland.
All right, folks, welcome to an all-new edition of Main Event Madness. It is September 8th. We thank you so much for joining us tonight and hearing what we've got to say and taking the time out to hang out with us. We really appreciate it. Tonight's going to be a fun one. Tonight, we've got an exclusive interview for you guys with Anthony Corelli, formerly WWE superstar Santino Marella. We talk about his character origins, his career before, during, and after his time in World Wrestling Entertainment, his family, and a lot more. So you guys are going to really enjoy this. So sit back, relax, enjoy the interview, and we'll be back next Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to have a lot to get to next week. But Facebook.com/Main Event Madness for that. But like I said, sit back, relax, and enjoy our interview with Anthony Corelli, also known as Santino Marella. All right, guys, we're here with Anthony Corelli, formerly Santino Marella in WWE. And Anthony, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. I know you got a pretty hectic schedule, so really appreciate you taking time out to chat with us for a little bit.
Oh, my pleasure, man. My pleasure.
So right off the bat, I want to kind of peel the curtain back a little bit on the Santino Marella character, if that's all right with you, and I just was curious, where did the origins of the Santino Marella character come from?
The origin was actually this, cat. This Monday Night Raw coming up. It was going to be the first time ever in Milan, Italy. And, he just wanted to make it really pop or count or be significant. So he decided to have an Italian superstar come out of the audience. Do something that's never been done before, win a title on his debut. So I was in OVW at the time. I just signed and was working for kind of developmental territory. And I was playing actually a wrestling show. And then all of a sudden they called me up and they told me like, hey, Mike Bucci was in collaboration. We have some of the writers with them. They're like, your background's really Italian, right? And I was like, yeah. Let's basically say some things for us. So I said a few Italian lines. And I guess when we keep it up, because whatever, the next day, they sent me my passport and I flew to Italy. And then the next day, it's Monday Night Raw. And I'm in the audience. And my debut was just a Boston guy. And it was that tight, it was a pretty crazy world. We had about 10 years on the road.
Yeah, now, I remember reading something, and I didn't know if this was true or not. Is it true you were named, your character was named after Gorilla Monsoon?
Yeah, it was a tribute to Gorilla Monsoon. Okay. Gorilla and Jerry Monsoon. Their last name was Gorilla.
Okay.
Yeah, and the first one, the field running too. And, so I'll make a family. I was like, it was fairly from the Godfather in the character setting was doing it. Because one of the writers liked the movie and I asked him about it.
Well, there you go. So you had mentioned, sorry, I had a little bit of an issue. You had mentioned you made your debut in Milan, Italy, and I remember that because I thought back then I was like 13, 14 years old, and I thought, I'm like, did they really just let a fan win the belt? And what was it like working with Umaga? Because I think at the time you were only like the second or third person to beat him.
Yeah, Umaga, as a performer, very guy. We Umaga in real life was a big, lovable Samoan who was an awesome guy. And we missed him dearly all the time, so I don't know, he passed away. He was older than actually years ago now, but, yeah, awesome. That's a giant. What a worker. Like, his ability to be safe and make things look so ferocious was unparalleled.
Much of your career, you played almost a comedic relief character. Looks, and it appeared really that you enjoyed every second of it. Did you have any aspirations to go higher in the company, or were you just happy with the role that you were given? Were there other aspirations?
Well, both, I always wanted to be more of a technical wrestler. That's the way I trained. That's what I was prepared to do, But at the same time, I have some really good people who said, hey, you got a great thing going here. This character can, provide a job for many, many years. And stick with it and go rock the boat and be happy. On TV and all this stuff. And I listen to that at times. Yeah, sometimes I sit back and watch the main event, but I don't know, living room, being able to share laughter with all the people around the world, that was pretty special.
Sorry about that. Now, one of the things you did in your career that I enjoyed a bit was you teamed with Vladimir Kozlov for a while. Can you tell us about that experience and what was it like working with him?
Well, Kozlov and I were friends from back in college. And, both as very good friends. He's one of my best friends ever. And, obviously, it's not a big one. Talk about the those guys. And once they lose, you can have any Rusev too. Once they lose, where do you go from there? If they want to find out about real characters, go back. So when these big monsters lose, sometimes you're just kind of stuck. So I was like, well, it's texting. You have to talk a couple of times, relationship, and she'll still get to be the monster, especially besides me, who's playing the comedic role. Essentially, that monster even more, in comparison. So, we gave us a chance, and they like it.
Now, you debuted in April of 2007, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it was by August of 2007 they had either began to turn you heel or they turned you heel. Was it your idea to turn, or did you want to stay as a babyface?
Well, at that point, I didn't really have a fresh.
Okay.
The character wasn't catching on as much as he wanted to catch on or thought it would. So, it was kind of like, well, you were in a heel, and if that doesn't catch, then we'll have to think about what's next for the guy. So, I didn't notice at the time. I was careful after that. The turn heel didn't really go well. Could have been bad. Really bad. But luckily, it did go well and entertained some folks. And, yeah, we kept it going for a long time.
Now, oh, God.
Go ahead, Judd.
To piggyback off of that, you took part in a couple of romance storylines. One with Maria and one with Beth Phoenix. Which one, for one reason or the other, which one was more fun for you, or which one did you enjoy more?
Well, Maria and I were kind of, well, I guess because it was such a long time ago, I think it was a shorter run. Beth and I was a longer run, and it was kind of interesting dynamics, just because she was playing that strong alpha female character, and I was happy. You know, the guy who's cocky and has big money going around the woman, kind of the docile one. So that was pretty funny. But Maria was funny in a different way. You know, I was becoming the jealous boyfriend. But I think with Beth, it was funny because the roles that we each played, that both of us played, not just kind of me, you know?
Right, I remember part of that was that you guys had an interesting match. You guys, I believe, if I remember right, it was the first and or only time the women's and intercontinental championships were defended in the same match. So how did you feel about being a part of a first time ever at an event like SummerSlam?
Yeah, anytime you could be a part of something that's first time ever is pretty cool. It's funny that when I won the Intercontinental Championship on my debut, you know, Bobby Lashley put me on top and I was knocked out. And then when I won it the second time, I was kind of knocked out from my chicken Kofi Kingston, and that game, so I won it again. So it's like I was two-time Intercontinental Champion, both times, not being conscious at the moment of history, which is pretty funny. That's why when I won the U.S. Championship, yes, that's great.
Where did the concept for those types of finishes kind of get planned out? How does that stage, do you have kind of control over, you know what, if you more comedic, fans may not see it coming, where did they initially come about, the whole being knocked out, laid out?
That was just a coincidence. That wasn't a plan or anything.
Okay.
Yeah, we were just going to the finish, and, you know, when you have a match, sometimes you have a shotgun. This guy hits this guy hits that guy, or this guy, you know, so you kind of want to know.
One of the more, say, unique characters, kind of sub-characters that had was Santina. Where did the tradition that kind of come from? Did it kind of play off the Beth Phoenix relationship where the concept, how did that come up? It certainly got a rise out of crowd too.
Yeah, I think it was one of those things where it was part of the storyline where I was trying to get ask about the dress up as a girl one time and Battle Royal, even Battle Royal, win it, and then you know, growth the look of a man and you know, you were the better athlete. But I guess we did it, you know, pretty well. And things wanted to do it for the next few months. And that's really how it was supposed to be a one-time thing, but it stuck around for a few months.
Well, you got to be pretty comfortable in your own skin to be out there and Bustier, and I mean, if a manly man like William Regal can do it, you certainly were able to pull it off too.
Yeah, it's funny because you know, technically she was only around for a few months, but I can't go anywhere without someone saying, "How's your sister?"
You know, we have fans of Jonas developing through OVW, kind of coming about, getting your feet wet. Some experiences are better than others. Were there any that, you know, were or weren't favorable as you were developing your time through OVW? Or, I mean, it's part of life and growth, but was there anything in your time there that you say, you know, I would have liked to have done this differently, I could have done this differently, but we're proud of, like, how it turned out?
Yeah, no, the entire process, I was so keen, you know, I was really, I started wrestling at 6, so I had that first match at 29, and then for all of me, you know, basically by age of 30, I was in Japan. So I moved to OVW beginner's class at 31 years old, and then, you know, I was in the intermediate class with the process, whatever, the bulk of my, you know, wrestling, really. And then in the end, I got a development contract, and I was training South Show, the advanced class in development of boxers. And it was really fast track. It was really, I mean, gosh, if I broke down, like 28 started training, 29 I had a match, 30 I moved to bed, 31 I moved to OVW, 32 I get signed, 33 I debuted. There wasn't really much room to really change it up in any way. It all could, you know, kind of happen pretty quick.
Now you mentioned that you were in Japan before you made it to WWE. Could you elaborate a little bit on your experiences there?
Yeah, you know, I was in Ontario. I had like, you know, several experiences, and I just realized that I got to get out here and go find, go make it happen somewhere. At the time, I mean, there was nobody looking, you know, let's say you go to a little banquet hall or something, you have a match, there's no one watching, there's nobody of significance. There's a crowd there, but I'm not going to get shouted and stuff, and you know, I'm not thinking I got to go. So, the only connection we had at the time was Satellite, the original Satellite in Japan. So I called there, and I came down, and basically became a student, and I had to prove myself, and kind of, you know, grapple everybody and teach everybody, and just worked my way up to the roster until I was able to start working shows. And they trained really hard there, and I fell in love with the style of training and the style of pro wrestling that I used when I was more selected in OVW to get noticed, to get signed. It was a Satellite style. And then, of course, I became, like, you know, I wasn't really able to use it on a daily basis. But now with the growth and the proliferation of MMA, and there seems to be this shift that, you know, we called it years and years ago, and now it's happening now. The audience is more sufficiently savvy, happening. If you really, if your ultimate goal is to make the audience acceptable to believe, that's a harder task that people are just smarter than grappling in the business. So you have to really train and cross-train as an actual average athlete has legitimate takedowns and strikes in order to make people believe that, oh shit, is this real here? And if you have a match, you're on the show, you know, each match is on the show, your match is the one that they question. They say, I think those guys really didn't like each other. Those two were at it. And that's what I want to do. I want to be the guy that does that. I want my students to achieve that. To me, that means you are the best performer possible. That's why Brock Lesnar is probably the most technically sound wrestler as an old school professional wrestler. But when he leaves the ring and you're saying, what the hell was that? Was that just real? What we saw? And he's the best professional wrestler in the world today because he's the only one that can legitimately question, was that realistic? If that's your measuring stick.
Right.
Fair
Oh, go ahead, Bert.
We often hear about the guys that are so good, and yet for whatever reason, they're not given the full chance. Yet, not that they don't succeed, they just don't succeed in the WWE, whether it's a Lance Hoyt, Lance Archer, or a Trent Beretta. Guys that were there, and yet are successful everywhere else but there. Was there anybody that you found in OVW while you were training? I mean, it was such a flip, and everything was moving so quickly that you said, that guy's going to be a star, and just whatever reason, it didn't pan out.
Yeah, Ricky Ortiz. Remember Ricky Ortiz?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That guy had to be an absolute megastar, the next John Cena. And, you know, you rub one person the wrong way, and that's the thing. It's kind of like figure skating, you know, you're judging based on performance, but there's nothing really possible for measuring it. This guy's not stronger, faster, or he didn't put this real. So it comes down to the person in charge and what they like. For example, at Battle Arts Professional Wrestling this past weekend, we had a title change. And the title change was because I, being the coach and the guy that runs the show, was unhappy with the effort level that a champion was putting. Coming back to he wasn't listening to me, he wasn't doing additional boxing training, he wasn't doing additional agility training. He wasn't doing the things I asked him. And the reason I asked those things was to make him better. If you're not listening to your coach, then I'm not going to give you the ball. The audience maybe they thought he should be champion, or to anybody else that doesn't know the circumstances that's why I decided to, drop the title. And that's the same thing. You don't know what is the Triple H when they're giving out titles and the reasons why. As audience members, we might be, I like this guy, or I like this guy, or whatever. But when it's a business and it's really one man in charge, it's just whatever he says and he wants. And that happens, and then you go into India, 1,000 promotions out there. And that means there's 1,000 people that are looking for their respective promotions, whatever they want. If this guy loves tennis shots, then probably there's going to be a lot of tennis shots in his card or his nose or something like that. Because now he's got called the shot.
Now,
That's something interesting. Sorry, John. You said something interesting about Ricky in that you rub somebody way and then all of a sudden it's not there. Is that to suggest his success is more politically based or not?
I don't think politics is the word. It's just someone like me.
Okay.
Let's for example, Vince thought I was funny, so I got it wrong. If Vince just said, I don't get it, I don't think he's funny, then I wasn't going to be there for something.
fair enough. Now, I'm curious. Do you still?
That makes sense.
It does. Do you still pay attention to the WWE product?
No, I'm too busy. I work way too much.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
You know what, though? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll take 3 minutes to go through Twitter to see what, if there's anything notable. Who won a match, who's the champion, or whatever. But do I sit down and watch Raw for 3 hours?
I don't blame you. I don't know the last time I've been able to sit through a 3-hour Raw. DVR is a beautiful thing. Now, one of your last main feuds before your injury towards the end kicked in was, if I believe, was with Cesaro. Over the United States Championship a few years ago. Have you seen anything with or read anything about how they've been? Or even before I get to that, what was your relationship and the experience like working with Cesaro?
Oh, I love Cesaro. He's awesome, man. He's a wicked wrestler, super nice guy, just positive, great mood, and hell of an athlete. Yeah, he's one of the guys that, if I'm back on the road, actually, he's passed my battle at training. He loves facility. He's all about functional training and all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's what I got away from that. He's a good guy. It wasn't really that long. Kind of, a little back and forth, but he's a good guy. Actually, one of my favorite guys.
Oh, for sure. He just comes across that way both on screen. Now, you said that Battle Arts... Oh, yeah. Battle Arts. Sorry. You said that you really haven't had the time to give the product now the attention because you're so busy. Battle Arts Academy is something that's very near and dear to your heart. Was there always aspirations to having that facility, being able to train and hone the next generation, or was that something that kind of came about?
Well, the one thing that I found in Japan was that the pro wrestlers and the amateur athletes, they all train together. And the foundation for pro wrestling and MMA is both submission wrestling. And I mean, these are guys that are fighting at high level in MMA fights, and they're training with the pro wrestlers in the exact same way. And then they branch off later down the road. So I just love the notion of that. And you know, being a former athlete, I was on the national judo team, and I was, you know, did judo my whole life. And so, you know, there's always the need of competition, of real competition, of real training. So I really like the fact that we train like legitimate athletes as pro wrestlers in Japan. And I wanted to bring that over here. So when I was over having lunch one time, when WWE was in Japan, I met with Mr. Ishikawa. He was the owner of the original Battle Arts, and I asked him if he'd be interested in coming to Canada, and he was like, you know, I'm there tomorrow kind of thing. So that's all I really needed, because I knew that the guys would be getting a world-class education, and then we can do both MMA and pro wrestling, because that's submission wrestling is the foundation for both. So we did, you know. I didn't want it to be my next career. I wanted it to be the thing that was up and running, and it was going to transition me into my next career. And it's kind of worked like that. You know, now that I'm retired, Battle Arts is up and running, doing well, so I don't have to scramble and try and start a new life right now. I already have a new life. And now it's giving me the freedom to go, you know, I can go take an interview or go talk with the guys from Sportsnet or Fight Network, or I can work on whatever's next, because I have a business in place. Because I'm not at work right now. I'm going in soon, but, you know, it's running, it's there. I got instructors and my receptionist is there and all that stuff, so it's running.
One of the more independent wrestlers that is just kind of getting his feet wet is Randy Rain, that has time too.
Yeah, he's my student. He actually just won he's the guy that won the title this weekend.
Okay. And now we've talked about
more. Sir?
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah, Randy's a prodigy. You know, he's a young kid. He has really good instincts, and he's huge, and he's good looking, and he trains here on an ongoing basis. You know, but he's going to now take an advance. He's going down to Scott D'Amore's place for 3 months in like a real concentrated camp, and hopefully that'll be the final polishing he needs to go somewhere, whether it's down to NXT or TNA or somewhere.
Now, fans locally here have heard of Destiny Wrestling. Maybe you can elaborate a little bit as to what the promotion is like, how it's kind of gotten its feet up and running, and your connection with it.
Yeah, so our announcer, George Iceman, he was just that. He was our announcer. He used to run a wrestling promotion, back in the 90s when he was really young. It was called WWF. And it's funny, he actually got a cease and desist letter from WWF back in the day because it sounded too similar. And he was a young kid, and he just listened and, closed up shop. But he's like a huge, he wins like the Toronto MC Awards every year, and he's a host, and he's awesome on the mic. He's a natural gift. So it really elevated the Battle Arts product to have him as a ring announcer. And now we do comedy. He helps me, commentary. He helps me do the commentary for Battle Arts. I help him do the commentary for Destiny. So basically, he wanted to get more involved in the Battle Arts shows, booking and booking matches and this and that. And then I just kind of realized, well, I think we have two different concepts in mind, so maybe you can open your own promotion. And he runs it out of the Don Koloff Arena, which is at Battle Arts Academy. So a lot of people think it's mine, but it's actually George Iceman's promotion. He's done a great job. The Don Koloff Arena is already a turnkey facility that looks awesome. He just jazzes it up a little bit and puts his little spin on it. He brings some of the indie guys in, some of the big indie guys. He brings former WWE stars. My shows are just my students. And it's really good wrestling, Some of the guys may be undersized, or like the indie guys, the top indie guys are all in pretty good shape. Some of my students are smaller. We have some big guys like Randy Rain, and we have several guys that could easily be signed by NXT currently. And the rest of the guys, we got to work on other aspects, getting those physiques up and working on coordination. And some of our guys are starting to work on Destiny now. Because Iceman comes to the practices and he sees who's doing good, who's working hard, whose body's actually changing, who's looking like a professional. And then he's giving those guys opportunities to work with Destiny.
Now, switching gears towards the end of your career, in July of 2014, you were able to announce your retirement in Canada. What was that like to be able to retire in your home country?
It's funny though, because I didn't actually retire. That was kind of misunderstood. But what I wanted to do, because it was the third time now that I was unable to wrestle because of my neck.
Okay.
And I was facing the possibility of a neck surgery. So I just said to the people of Toronto, I said, hey, I don't know if this is it. It might be it. It turns out it was it, but we didn't know that at the time. And I said, the only regret I have in this business is that I was never able to be introduced as being from Toronto or Mississauga, because I love where I'm from and I'm very proud of it. And I love this city, And I was always, of course, I'm proud of my Italian ancestry. But it would have been nice to have been billed from Mississauga, Ontario.
I
remember we were driving to Montreal, my phone was blowing up, and everyone was saying, and I retired, and I was like, shit, did I just retire? I don't think so. But, yeah. So, but I had my surgery, and my neck just never got well enough to be able to go out there confidently and have a match.
Do you think there might ever be, even for like a quick 2-second, you might be able to come out of retirement where they could bill you from your hometown, or you don't think that's in the cards?
If I ever went back to WWE, I'm pretty sure they would still bill me as Santino. I don't think I would be Anthony. I don't think they would. I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities to do stuff with the network, and I would just want to do it myself. I'm kind of done with Santino. It was good. It was great. I love it. I appreciate every second of it. But I'm a businessman now, and I gotta kind of grow up and do my own thing. Yeah, but then again, hey, you have to get a decent contract. Of course, I'll go with Santino. But to get me out of the house these days is not as cheap as it used to be. I got a lot of stuff going on. So, in order to get me out of here, it's gonna have to be worth it.
Now, I like to ask this question from a lot of people. If you could relive one moment in your career, what would it be and why?
Just relive it, you mean?
Relive it, go do it again, change anything.
I think when I came back, when I had one time I had a new contract, and I just negotiated 6 months off in between because I wanted to build battle arts. And when I came back in Toronto. And that was pretty cool. The crowd, jumped up, and the whole arena just was screaming. And that was a cool moment backstage when you hear your music hit and you hear everyone, go ape shit. That was pretty cool. I would do that one again.
All right. And the last thing I got is a little thing of name association, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
So, one word, or say whatever comes to mind. Either one doesn't matter. Paul Heyman.
Genius.
Eric Stevens, Damian Sandow, Aaron Rex, whichever name you want to go by.
Oh man, he actually was here this weekend, wrestling for Destiny. Him and I, it's funny because we've been roommates on multiple occasions in Louisville and in Tampa. So he's obviously one of the closest friends of mine in the business. He was a prodigy from a young age. He has awesome pedigree. He's a perfect example that someone didn't see him as a guy, regardless of the fact that he has every single tool. And now he went somewhere where they think he's a guy, so he's happy now.
Really quick follow-up on that. Do you think they'll regret not giving him the chance when he had the Money in the Bank and everything a few years ago?
I don't know. I don't know. The audience, time after time, indicated they wanted him, and they ignored it. So I don't know.
Fair enough. This one I kind of enjoyed when you had your little mini feud with him. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh man, he's like a man's man. You know, he's to be in a locker room of that many alpha males and still be the alpha male. He's the man. You know, he doesn't take any bullshit, and he's respectful and kind, and he's strong. He's just like the kind of guy you'd like to be your son to grow up to. You know, he's a good guy.
Absolutely. Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho is already a legend, and he's just continuing to further cement that legacy on a daily basis. He's doing some of the best stuff he's ever done ever at this age, and he's like, there's no stopping this guy. I emailed him a few weeks ago. I just said, bro, you're the fucking man, you know. And he's like, why? I go, just because you are, man. He's funny and he's athletic. Chris Jericho, who else could put together that kind of schedule? And say, I'm going to be a rock star for 6 months. I'm going to be a superstar for 6 months. And just repeat that back and forth. There's a wonderful family, and you know, he's the man, man. He's a legend.
Plus the books, plus the TV shows, and he was in Sharknado. I mean, the guy's work ethic is crazy. Vicky Guerrero.
Vicky was very, very sweet backstage, and she played a really cool role in the women's locker room, just bringing that adult perspective to the locker room, where at the time there was a lot of really young girls in there. There was Kelly and Alicia Foxy. They're 18, 19, you know. I love Vicky, man. She's awesome. I haven't run into her in a while. Sometimes, you know, we always hope, because everyone lives in different cities, right? You kind of hope your paths will cross sooner than later, and we've missed each other a couple of times, but I'm looking forward to bumping into Vicky, that's for sure.
Going back to the Santino Marella character, I'd have to bring this one up, especially with the election. Donald Trump.
Donald Trump is definitely, what's the word? He's significantly unprepared for the job that he's trying to get. I don't think he realizes really what's fully involved with being the the President of the United States. But that's it, you know, yes, whatever, good luck. I wouldn't want to...
John Cena.
John Cena is the consummate workhorse and super intelligent. You know, people think he's finished product, but they don't know how to run that guy. He's the workhorse, man. He's unstoppable. I mean, just recently now he's getting a little older, and he got some bumps and bruises, and he's kind of doing some other things to prepare for the future. He can't wrestle forever, but for the run that guy had, with the intensity and the schedule that he had, you know, there's a lot of people that may talk shit about Cena, but they can't do what he did. There's no way. There's no way. And, you know, it's kind of like, well, go ahead and dethrone him. Go ahead. Try it. You can't do it. No way. Because once you get even if you're able to do it, to maintain it the way he did, no way. He's the man.
Triple H.
Triple H is actually, believe it or not, a lot like John Cena. And what I mean is, very, very intelligent guy. He's super smart. And whenever they learn about something or get interested in something, they just dive right in it and they become, you know, just enthusiasts. And he'll sit there and he'll read for 2 weeks straight because he has a new hobby, you know? And he'll do research, and he's a very, very smart guy. Both guys are very, very smart.
Vince McMahon.
Well, he would be the mentor for those two guys. He'd be the guy that they look at and they're trying to emulate. Because, his work ethic is not even human. In the sense, his age alone, but he's the first guy there, and that kind of, he trains like a maniac at midnight every night. Training, that's the only time. Sleeps 3 hours a day. His perception and his ability to predict the masses has been so accurate for so many years. Honest to God, I wouldn't be surprised if you peeled back some skin and saw some electric circuits back there. He was a robot, a machine.
And lastly, Santino Marella or Anthony Corelli.
Yeah. Who, me?
Yes, you.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. I've never done that one before. I am the ultimate Canadian. And what I mean is, my father is an immigrant from Italy. My mother is Métis, which is First Nations, with an Aboriginal. So my mother's French-Canadian, Native Indian. And when you look at the demographics of Canada, I think it's 51% of the people that live in the Greater Toronto area were not even born in Canada. So I'm 50% immigrant. I'm part French-Canadian. I'm part Native Indian. These are all massive, very significant demographics to our country. Mississauga became a city in 1974. I was born in 1974. My house was built in 1974. And I live in this street that is an absolute snapshot of what being Canadian is. We have all these Italian and Portuguese and Polish immigrants, and we got the two black guys, the one Chinese guy, the one Luffy, and everyone gets along in complete harmony. We have a Catholic school, a public school down the street. We got onto a park. We live in the suburbs. And I was actually a geography major. And when you break down all the parameters that people use to gauge quality of life, Canada is very often voted by the United Nations or whatever it is as the best place to live in the world, based on all the factors, demographic factors, violence per capita, income per capita, healthcare, opportunity, natural resources, everything. You take everything into consideration, and Canada is the place to be. And the number one place in Canada is in terms of a metropolitan area is Toronto. And, then you take into consideration all those same factors, and the city is it has a little more violence. It has a little more congestion, a little more smog. So you look at the immediate surrounding suburban area of Toronto. Mississauga is the healthiest suburban area to the greatest city of the greatest country. And then you look at the street I live in, and the street I live on, there's some value in the street. There's the modest-sized homes that have this European flavor to it, and each home is like two homes, right? Like they have a basement apartment type thing, which used to be used for the in-laws, and everybody has gardens, and it's a quiet street, and it's not overpriced and inflated like a lot of the Canadian real estate, but it's not ghetto. It's just it's the perfect street. So I am, in terms of being lucky, I probably live in one of the best streets in the world. If you break it down from, continent, country, city, suburb, area, and the balance that I've attained. So I'm a pretty lucky guy, man. I was born in this city, I was raised in this city, and never had to worry about natural disasters. I never had to worry about war or poverty. My dad's a construction worker. My mom was a bank teller when they were kids. And, I didn't grow up rich. I didn't grow up poor. It was perfect. was so goddamn lucky my entire life to live in this perfect environment to allow anything I wanted to happen, you know. But then you see, for example, my daughter. I gave her the things I didn't have, and she came out a little bit ungrateful. And we're trying to rectify that now. She's in university. And, but I wasn't, because I didn't have those things. And sometimes when you're a rich kid, you're out of touch. And when you're a poor kid, you may have some hard times. But when you're that middle class, it's just so lucky. So I'm very conscious of how lucky I am to grow up the way I did and where I did, and even where I live right now. And my wife's an immigrant from Poland, and we're going to start a family, and it's just a great time, man. I'm very fortunate.
Happy for you, man. I'm glad you've had success and nothing but happiness. And on that note, speaking of happiness, I wish you nothing but the best in your future with your family, and you personally, and with the Battle Arts Academy. Thank you very much for taking time out of your day and your schedule to hang out with us, man. I really appreciate it. This is a great interview.
Oh, my pleasure, completely. Thank you, guys. Those are fun questions.
Thank you. Take care, and hopefully, maybe down the road, we could do something again.
Sure, anytime.
All right. Take it easy, man.
Okay, bye, guys.
Thank you so much for being with us tonight. If you missed a part or all of tonight's show, no problem. We're available on iTunes and also on demand anytime at prowrestling.biz, wrestling-news.net, and here at blogtalkradio.com/Main Event Madness. We are every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, and we hope you can join us. We're Main Event Madness. Madness Unleashed. Have a good one, everybody. So long.
Go under, 'cause the weight of it's like hands around my neck. I never stood a chance. My heart is frozen over, and I feel like I am treading on thin ice, and I'm going under. I need a cure for me, 'cause the square doesn't fit the circle. Give me a remedy, 'cause my head wasn't wide for this world. I need a cure for me, 'cause the square doesn't fit the circle.
Welcome to Staples.
Staples Guy. I've resolved to save my office money in 2017.
Well, during Staples' January printing event, you save big when you buy one HP ink and get the second 40% off.
Oh, that kind of savings will impress the boss. Maybe this year he'll stop calling me new guy Nick.
Well, there are worse nicknames.
I've worked there 6 years, and my name's Doug.
Resolve to save during Staples' January printing event. Buy one HP ink and get the second 40% off. Staples. Make more happen.
Ends 1/14/17. See store or staples.com for details. Restrictions may apply.
Welcome to Staples.
Staples Guy. I've resolved to save my office money in 2017.
Well, during Staples' January printing event, you save big when you buy one HP ink and get the second 40% off.
Oh, that kind of savings will impress the boss. Maybe this year he'll stop calling me new guy Nick.
Well, there are worse nicknames.
I've worked there 6 years, and my name's Doug.
Resolve to save during Staples' January printing event. Buy one HP ink and get the second 40% off. Staples. Make more happen.
Ends 1/14/17. See store or staples.com for details. Restrictions may apply.